Welcome to Wise Guys Barbecue, the podcast where the smoke is thick, the laughs are loud, and the barbecue news is always sizzling. Vin and Chip are your go-to guys for everything barbecue, from the Northeast to the nation, where we're dishing out the latest from competition circuits or sharing wild tales from our barbecue safaris down south. We're here to keep you entertained and informed. As writers for RI Barbecue News, we've got the inside scoop on the best cooks, the hottest joints, and the juiciest stories in the world of barbecue. So grab a cold one and join us for a finger-licking good time.
Welcome back to Wise Guys Barbecue, the podcast that celebrates our passion for exceptional barbecue wherever we discover it. I'm your co-host, Vin Porcaro, and joining me as always, my partner in crime, Charlie Baldwin. And today we got a special guest, Rich Yang from BBQ Ninja. Yes. I got to say it like that. I think it has something to do with my culture. Right. But I don't know if it's supposed to be BBQ, but I put it there anyways. How you doing, Rich?
Good. How about you guys? How you guys doing?
Yeah, we're doing great. You kidding me? I'm going to let the cat out of the bag right away. Rich brought us an unbelievable spread of barbecue this afternoon. Good. It's amazing. It was delicious, Rich. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You wonder, you guys, I say it all the time, right? People say, I cook, I like to cook. I think I do an okay job at it. My friends eat it. But these guys kill it. These guys kill it, and they kill it, and it's amazing. Thank you very much for bringing it, and welcome. So here we go. We're going to have a conversation about you, about the barbecue world, about competing, and see where it brings it.
Oh, definitely.
All right.
Well, Rich, he's glad to have you here. I mean, I know we talked at the Barbecue Championships a little while back, and we were so excited. Obviously, you know my son, Zach, and he has spoken very highly of you, and we knew we had to get you on here because you were tailor-made for our show. We love guys that are doing their own thing and making their way on their own, okay? And, you fit the bill. And we just want to talk to you about how you got started and what you're doing right now, and then maybe talk about what the future holds for the BBQ Ninja.
All right, definitely. A lot of plans. For sure.
Awesome. So, Rich, starting things off, you originally from Rhode Island?
I am originally born and raised in Rhode Island.
Okay, but not always in Warwick.
Not always in Warwick, yeah.
So where'd you start out?
I started out in South Providence. We stayed in South Providence until my teen years. We moved to Warwick my sophomore year in high school.
All right, so you're a native Rhode Islander. You moved into Warwick. That means you're totally intimidated by drives of over 5 miles.
Yeah.
That's very intimidating for you if you're a native Rhode Islander. Vin, what do you want to ask?
So I know barbecue, I'm going to say, is relatively new for you, not brand new. You've been doing it, about 4 years now?
4 years.
Yeah, but just culinary, did you have certain kinds of foods or that you enjoyed in South Providence, any different from Warwick? I mean, what's your favorite thing to eat when it's not barbecue?
When it's not barbecue, it's probably, I would say, Spanish food or Hmong food. It's very diverse down there in South Providence. So you got those food truck late nights on Broad Street also, Johnny's Chimney. We were always used to walk Broad Street and just pick random things for on Broad Street just to try out, And I was amazed at the flavors, and that's what kind of brought me into liking and trying new things.
Yeah. So, I mean, Latin American food, kind of like barbecue, is spicy, right? You can get some real spice going on in some of that
some
stuff.
Spice, some flavor. Similar to kind of like Asian food too, but Asian food is more like, I would say herby and earthy.
Yes. Cilantro. That's my favorite. I couldn't think of that name last time we were on there. But my wife loves putting cilantro on everything, and boy, does it change the flavor and make it like you're eating earth. You're out in the garden. That was it. So as you transitioned to West Warwick, were those foods still readily available for you to eat, and that you still enjoy?
Definitely. When we moved to Warwick, it was more chain restaurants. There's not really that almost, I would say, like that vibe, like Broad Street, like where the food trucks and stuff, like a more, you have like Mulligan's Island, like food truck nights that you would go to, but you won't be able to find something like that in Warwick for sure.
More commercial.
Yeah.
More commercial. Yeah, definitely get it. Definitely get it. All right, so Vin already touched on it, but when you were growing up, what were the kind of foods that were cooked in your house?
The food that was cooked in my house was a lot of Hmong food, very original, like kind of like Hmong, like boiled pork with greens, stir fry. So a lot of different dishes that requires different things. Pho also, it's like a soup noodle dish.
Yep.
Very
popular. Now, who was cooking that food for you? Were you cooking it? Was that mom?
Oh, that was definitely mom.
Okay, good. So that's it. So did you learn cooking from your mom?
Oh, definitely. I learned a lot between her and my dad. They're different.
Yeah. Did your dad cook too?
My dad, it's more like that spiciness.
Yeah.
To it, but my mom, she's very different. Like she has like different methods of doing it. So she can cook spicy, mild, or savory, or different kind of dishes.
She can cook to the occasion where your dad just lighten it up.
Yeah, lighten it up. I'm like, how many peppers you put in this?
Yeah, yeah,
all of them.
Right. No, I know how that works in a household. Me and my wife have opposite palates. So she makes tamahun, right? The papaya salad.
Yep, papaya
and
salad.
there's sometimes where she makes it and I'm walking around like this. And
Yeah.
she's like, what are you talking about? I put too much sugar. I'm like, yeah, right, bullshit.
Yeah.
And then other times it's just a flip. I'm like, give me, this is great. She's like, I can't eat anymore. My mouth's on fire. So it can be different for different people for sure.
Rich, real quick, you keep saying the word Hmong. Mm-hmm. So what part of the world is that?
Hmong is located in Laos, so it's right near Thailand, Cambodian. We're like the trios, and they call us hill people. So we live out in the mountains. They do a lot of farming, a lot of crops, and they grow their own stuff.
Very agricultural type community. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Very, trying to find the right word. I don't want to say stubborn because that denotes something bad. I don't want to say dedicated either, but my wife's got a great story about, so like Rich said, when the Hmong people come down to the marketplace from the hills, they bring whatever they're selling, and it could be produce, it could be anything. And very, very common in a lot of countries that doesn't pay a lot of, I want to say, in cash. They barter. They like to barter for things.
Gotcha.
So the idea is wait till late in the day, because if it's late in the day and it was $4, by 3 o'clock, it's $3.
Exactly.
Not if you're Hmong. They're like, no, it's $4 or it's going back up the hill, right? they get what they deserve, and for sure, they don't barter. So that's fun. I always thought it was a funny story.
So, how would you say that cultural, that culture, your culture? How does that play into your barbecue and what you're doing right now?
It plays definitely a big role, especially in the Hmong culture or any Asian culture. We're very like family oriented. So, like sharing foods and making food for your family, getting the family together with their cousins and uncles and stuff. It's really, it's like the love that we put into food, so everybody can share, everybody can have a piece. We can laugh, we can joke, and just spend a lot of time together, make memories for sure.
I mean, that's like at the root of barbecue, that we've, people love making food for other people and watching them enjoy it. And there's a very, like you said, a communal feeling amongst the barbecue crowd, where they love having a bunch of people there and having a couple of cocktails and serving their good food and just having a great vibe about the whole thing. That's awesome.
So you're cooking. As you got closer to the time when you kicked off barbecue, did you grow into cooking in general? Did you always cook and it just turned into barbecue, or did barbecue ignite it for you?
I never really cooked a lot until I started going to the gym and I had to meal prep.
Yeah.
So now I like.
So where's that in conjunction with when you started barbecue? Was that a couple years before?
It was a couple years before barbecuing. So I was going to the gym. I was meal prepping every day on Sundays for the week. And like, I didn't just want to have boiled chicken or like just something plain. So, I have to like change it up a bit. So I had to really get into like the flavors and like doing different things. So I think that's what kind of got me more into cooking.
Gotcha.
And learning from my mom also, and like some of the dishes she makes, I would ask her like, "How do you make it? Like, show me,
Yep.
teach me."
So then from there, what? Bumped into a barbecue grill and you said, "Let me try this." How'd you get into barbecue?
So I got into barbecue during COVID of 2020. I actually went over to my best friend's house, and he was like, I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm smoking some ribs." I was like, "What?" I was like, "How long?" He was like, "Oh, I'm going to do it for 5 hours." I was like, "You're going to wait 5 hours for ribs?" I was like, "I can't wait 5 hours for ribs." So he was like, "You should do it." I was like, "Nah, I don't have the patience to sit there for 5 hours and wait for ribs that could be gone in like 5 minutes."
Right.
You know,
right.
so he was like, "Oh no, you should try it. You should try it." And then so I was actually off work during COVID.
Yep.
So I had a couple months of free time. So I was like, "Oh, let me just pick up something cheap, like around 300, 350. So I got a Oklahoma Joe Bronco.
Okay.
So it's a vertical smoker. So I started on that.
Yep.
And then that's what kind of like it just took off.
And you were burning charcoal in there, right?
Yep, I was burning charcoal, chunks of wood,
Yep.
and some chips.
Nice. And
You started vertical too, didn't you?
yeah, yeah, and even less aggressive than that 'cause I started with propane. So I really cheaped it out. But yeah. Now, what was the first thing you cooked?
The first thing I cooked, you guys are gonna laugh at me because I was like,
Bologna.
no, I actually was looking. I was like, oh, what's one thing I could not dry out even if I mess up?
Yeah.
So I was like, I want to cook a pork butt. But when I went to go buy the pork butt, I actually did not get a pork butt. I got a pork picnic.
Oh yeah.
So
a
with the-
ham.
yeah. So
A
with the
picnic ham.
so with the shank. So I was like, and then my friend's like, oh, what did you cook? I was like, I cooked the pork butt. He's like, is that a shank? Well, I was like, yeah. And he's like, I think you got something different. So I was like, oh,
You got the shoulder.
yeah. So I was like, oh,
But
maybe I
what's
didn't
wrong
get
with
it.
that? I like cooking those. 'Cause I actually, what I do is I cut the bone out, butterfly it, and then I season the inside and roll it back up and tie it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm wrong with that.
So that was my first mistake. I got a pork picnic thinking it was a pork butt. And I went to go watch videos. I was like, their pork butt doesn't look like the one I got. So I was like,
How'd it turn out?
it actually turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
I kind of was impressed. That's what I was like, wow, like maybe I could do this.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I.
Just rub, or did you have sauces on it? Or?
So I started off with mustard, of course, for the binder, and then I put the rub on, and I put it on the Oklahoma Joe at like around like 250 for, depending on how many pounds it was, an hour per pound, or something like that.
So you were well versed in how to do it. Where'd you learn that? Was it YouTube?
Oh, definitely YouTube.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
once I get into something, I like to like research and watch like tons of videos, and
Yeah.
sometimes I'll read forums and reviews and all that stuff, like
Yeah.
what to do, what not to do.
No, YouTube's great. You just
Yeah.
got to watch. You got to do like you said. You got to watch a couple different versions because there's some crazy people. And
Oh, yeah.
they're doing things that are a little nutty.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of bounce it off somebody else. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But yeah, that's the way to do it. So that's cool. And that good way to start for sure. When did you do your first brisket?
I was actually really scared to do brisket at first.
Everybody is.
My
That's so funny.
friend, my best friend was like, "Oh, you gotta do brisket." I was like, "Nah." I was like, "I'll do like the cheaper stuff first." I was like, the ribs and the
Yeah.
chicken and the stuff.
Isn't that funny? Because brisket then was still only about $80 a cut. Like it
Yeah.
was $3 a pound back then, right? So you can get something for about $80-90. It wasn't. I mean, now you're paying like almost $140.
now it's gold,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, it's up. But people just get intimidated because of the size of the meat. And how'd you deal with the push? Did you expect it? Did you know about it?
So when I did my first brisket, it was probably like 11 pound.
Yep.
Didn't do too much trimming. I knew that I had to keep the fat down to at least a quarter of an inch, but then keep it uniform.
Right.
You know, so
Aerodynamic.
yeah,
Yeah, streamline.
exactly. So I did it. I rested it in the cooler, and I brought it to my best friend's house, the one that got me into barbecue. And then I opened it up. All the steam comes out. I cut into it. And all I see was the juices, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I was
Yeah.
like, "I did it right."
That's it. Yeah, it's wonderful. Like it's a very forgiving meat. It's intimidating as all hell. Like you said, the investment. What am I doing? You
Yeah.
know. And then a lot of people freak out on the push. And then once you get it out, it's like, okay, wow,
Yeah.
I did all right. You know what I mean?
Now wait.
Yeah, exactly. That's too cool. Yep, good for you.
That's awesome.
Hey guys, wait, I got to take a break because I, you know me. If I'm going to work, I got to drink. So we're going to do our wine time. Again, Paul Liquors, our friend Paul down there at 132 Mendon Road, hooked us up with another nice bottle of wine. It's a Tuscan blend from Tuscan, Italy. It's a little redundant.
Toscana.
Yes, thank you. Maybe I should have said it in Italian. 2019. It should be nice and rosy. It's got some solid weight to it. I think it didn't score as high as the wines we've been drinking. Sorry. Nothing to do with you, Rich. Don't be offended. I think it got a 92 out of 100. But let's try this Rosso di Notori 2019. And let's see if we get what we need to get out of this thing. We're going to get some blackberries and black cherries and some plum out of here. So, hey, cheers. Good luck. Best success.
I spend my time drinking wine, feeling fine.
Things going on in the next couple of months, so good luck with all that.
That I can understand. Yes, I am.
Oh, it's not bad. So I'll tell a little story out of school real quick. I bought a lot of these wines in 2020, right around COVID. It was 2019, 21. I bought these, and I didn't drink as much, so they're horrible. I opened a couple of bottles. I was I couldn't even. So I just left them on the shelf, and I guess that's what you're supposed to do because now in 24 they're much different. So
I've noticed that you've expected these things to be terrible, and you're pleasantly surprised at every bottle we've opened.
Well, that's why I keep serving them here because it's a tax write off, and
I know what we can do with this wine, Sue.
yeah, exactly. I got some suckers coming over on Wednesday. Anyways, so Paul, thank you very much. We love coming down there and checking out your bourbons and checking out your wine. So thanks for hooking us up. Much appreciated. And thank you guys for entertaining me with my wine time. Enjoy the wine.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. Always one of the highlights of our podcast is drinking a good glass of wine here. And so far we've been, I think how many times have we done the wine tasting? 4?
Yeah, third time.
This is the third time when we're 3-0 right now.
Yeah, because we were drinking beer and we said,
I want to go different.
we were going to think bourbon. It was like, I don't enjoy drinking bourbon as much as I drink wine. Yeah. I mean, I like it after these are over. Nice bourbon when but if you're going to be talking and stuff, you don't want bourbon. You want wine.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
And it fits our motif, our wise guys motif that we got going here. Anyhow. All right, Rich. I've been waiting to ask you this since I met you. Why the name The BBQ Ninja? How did you come up with that? It's like a hip-hop, kung fu type thing. Where did that come from? Where did that concept come from?
So when I was thinking of a name, I was actually just thinking so hard and just trying to get something to reflect what I cook also. So, a ninja is quiet, very, almost like a silent assassin.
Stealthy,
with the food, stealthy,
right?
Exactly. Something you wouldn't inspect from the food. So, that's why I was like,
creeps up on you.
Yeah. So I was like, maybe I'll do that. But then I was playing with the name, so I was like, nobody would think not to say anything, but nobody would think that there's an Asian guy cooking barbecue in the back if they sleep,
Yeah,
valid point.
So,
especially calling himself a ninja.
Yeah, exactly.
But I like the idea of the play on the food because your food does have notes of a little kick-ass, but not right up front. You don't bite into it and go, oh Jesus, this is spicy.
Right.
This is spicy meatball. Yeah, it's not like that. It's like, oh, I like this.
Right.
Like that. It's a little covert in there.
Right.
I think you should keep playing with that. That's great.
Yeah. And I wanted to keep a little Texas in there, so a little bit, you get that little of that black pepper in there too. So
okay, so explain that to me and our listeners. I think I know the answer, but when you say get a little Texas in there, what does that mean?
a little bit of that bite of that black pepper and the black pepper salt. That's their Texas thing.
Right, because they try to get it's all about the cook in the food. So it's salt, pepper, and that's it. They don't like the spices and the rubs and all that.
Right.
So they try to keep it. So that's what they mean by that, keeping it Texas. Okay, gotcha. Because I hear it a lot, and I think I know, but I don't know enough to like put one against another. You know what I mean? Cool. So the BBQ Ninja was born, and you do a hell of a job with the branding. I'll put up some pictures for our people on YouTube that can see us. Rich does a great job with the branding of his smoker, of his cutting station, of his front of his tent. It's just nice. You really feel like, this isn't just a part-time gig for him, but it kind of is, right? You're starting off. How many competitions have you done?
So far, I've done one this year, but I have 3 coming up, one every month.
So you only done one competition, period, end the story?
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you wanted to win everything.
Yeah.
Hey, what the hell of a place to start.
He was pissed.
Yep.
And the wife was ready to burn the place down.
She was. I was like, let's get out of here before we get arrested.
She thought you guys were going to win your very first barbecue competition, the Rhode Island State Championship.
Yeah.
We're going to win this.
Yeah.
I love the confidence. I love it.
awesome.
You got to have that.
That's
Gotta
awesome.
have that. So you first started. What was your vision for BBQ Ninja? What was, you got the name. You came with the name. What did you see this becoming? Like, what in your head at the beginning? What did you see it becoming?
I just thought it was going to be like almost like just a hobby where I'll do it here and there, But then after my first run and like the feedbacks and like it kind of gave me more motivation and I kind of built that vision in the back of my head, like, hey, this could be something like I could see myself doing this. I work Monday through Friday, come home, and then still work Friday to Saturday, 5 o'clock, all night long, even after my Monday through Friday job. So
You better love it.
yeah, that's why a lot of people was like, how do you do it? I was like, I love doing it, It's just, I don't look at it like it's work. It's like something I'm passionate about.
Got
So
it.
you brought it from hobby to competition based on the compliments and the encouragement you got from your peers, right? So who
Right.
was that? Was that your wife? Was it your family? Was it all of them?
It was all of them, yeah, for sure. And my best friend, John, he was just like, man, you got something. He's like, you
Was
should.
that the guy who encouraged you to start?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Did we meet him in the States? Was he in your tent?
No, he wasn't there that
Okay,
day.
okay.
He was doing family things.
Yep.
But he was like, he's the one that's always pushing me. He's like, you got something. He's like, there is no barbecue like yours. He's like, trust me.
Now, has he ever competed?
He's never competed by himself, but he's
Been on
helped
teams?
Me. Yeah.
He's been
helped
on
me.
your team?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. And all right, so if you're Charlie, I'm getting off script.
Roll. You're going.
How does that work? Because there are some great teams, right? And there are some great, usually they're pairs. You find a lot of husband-wife. One of the guys killing it now is guy from Live Q or Die, and I'm not going to think of the names right away. I'll get back to them, but they're doing a great job, and they're two different people, right? There's this guy who's a kind of like a restaurant cook,
Yes.
renegade, and then this other guy who's the meat purchaser, and he's just the book-wise guy.
Yeah.
So when you have a team, how does that work? Is one person responsible for the cook only, and the other person's responsible for the procurement and processing? Like how does the team work, or is it just hand in hand, like you're just going through all the steps together?
Yeah, I think for me, we're going through all the steps together. People are keeping track of times, turn-ins.
Yep.
Checking just to make sure that the fire is still going, feeding the wood, and keeping each other in line, just making sure that we are on point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost impossible to do it by yourself. I mean, you need
It's
some.
tough, yeah.
It piles up on you, all the different things you have to do.
Yeah.
And be
Yeah.
aware of. In a competition, I'm talking about.
Yeah, especially when you're doing it for real. Like I've seen people with pellet smokers, and they have other devices helping them, so it's more manageable. But if you're cooking with stick and you're doing all meats, obviously you're turning all those meats, and you're trying to do something creative in all those meats. I mean, we were hitting on it a while ago about just keeping the right temperature in that smoker, right? Because you want that nice, cool blue smoke coming out.
Definitely.
You don't want that black smoke.
You want consistent.
Yes.
You want that consistent temperature all across the board.
For sure. I just always kind of made me curious because, like, I consider me and my wife a team when we cook, especially in the backyard, but I don't know how that would work.
If we jam the two of you into a trailer and
well, what
I think
happens,
all right.
I think like when we do it and we do it for fun or do it for friends, there's no fourth wall kind of a thing. We're just doing. But once there's a fourth wall, once there's a judge, or once there's somebody kind of peering in on my wife, especially, it becomes like, get out of my way! You don't know what you're doing. Go sit down in the car. It's like, okay, honey.
Yeah.
She's terrifying. You have no idea. Terrifying woman.
No,
All 100 pounds of her.
But I often wonder how the team dynamics work in those situations.
It's probably it's probably a little different team to team.
Yeah,
I think so.
Having your wife do it, that seems like a natural thing.
Sometimes she could be on top of me, like kind of rush me. I was like, "Don't rush me." I was like, "Just let me go."
Yeah. But I mean, as far as it's such a commitment.
Yeah, definitely.
That if you guys aren't doing it together, you're talking about spending time apart. Mm-hmm. So like having you guys do that together, I mean, I would think it would help your relationship as far as spending time together, quality time, and things like that. As long as you're both on the same page and passionate about what you're doing.
Does she consider it a hobby, or is she into the competitive scene?
It's like a hobby for her. Like, she likes to be there. She likes to be my number one supporter. And she always asks me, do you need me there? Or, what can I do to help you?
Right.
Even if she's not there, she's helping me with something else, like preparation and like getting things that I need to put in place for me to bring there. Organizing my stuff, or, I was telling Chip that I always kind of like log my times and myself when I'm looking at the preview times of the turn-in times at the competition.
Okay. Yeah, you got to keep notes on everything, right? Because littlest thing with the competition we met you at, it's pouring rain. 10 minutes, and then it was like hot and humid for a half hour, and then it would pour rain again. It was crazy. I can't imagine trying to cook ribs in that. It also must be challenging because it's like a double duty job, right? You're doing the competition, doing the cooks, you're getting everything prepared, and then you're marketing a brand, right?
Exactly.
So you got the Facebook, you got the Instagram, you got people out there wanting to know where you're going to be for the next competition, and you're making your signs, you're making your grills, and you're doing all this stuff. It's never ending, and you're pulling out 40 hours somewhere too.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's crazy, right?
It never stops for sure.
Yeah,
that's true. Rich, so you get started, you got your name, you're starting to do your thing. Did you run into any stumbling blocks? Anything that you had to overcome, or any challenges you ran into early on?
I think it was definitely more mental and patience.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like earlier, I was telling my friends, like, I don't know how you wait 5 hours for ribs, 6 hours for ribs.
It's crazy.
So it's like after doing it a couple of times, I kind of had to relax myself and just be like, all right, there's other things I could prepare while I'm waiting for the meat to get to the temperature that I wanted to.
Yeah, you don't have to watch the paint dry.
Right.
You can get some other things.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So we talked about your flavor profile a little bit. We got you with the sneaky kind of approach to your sauces, starting off mild and being a little tangy at the end. Mm-hmm. What is there anything else that sets you apart from your competitors? So I learned something. I was up at a competition 2 weekends ago. And so the night before the actual barbecue contest, there was a rib cook-off. And this team called 16 Mesh won the ribs, and they got a perfect 180.
Wow.
And, so Dan and Kristen are the husband and wife team there. And I was talking to Dan the next day, and I was like, Dan, come on, you had this, right? You had it nailed. He's like, Vinny, me and my wife wanted to try something different because this wasn't part of the, you know, the 4-meat competition on Sunday. This was just kind of, yeah, everybody wants to win, but it was still kind of, you know, so we wanted to try something different, and we changed up a bunch of stuff, and now they were trying to remember it so they can put it into their regular repertoire because, but so I guess that happens, right? You can have the best plan for your flavor, and you got to be dedicated to it. You got to, you know, you got to be slave to it every time. But I guess once in a while, throwing a Hail Mary, I guess will work. I guess.
Oh yeah.
Experiment.
Yeah, I don't know. He wouldn't. Obviously, wasn't going to tell me about it. I think it had something to do, and you can tell me, Rich, on this because I have no experience. I'm not a competitor. Do you rest ribs like you do a brisket?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. So he mentioned that he didn't rest it. So whatever they were doing, they kind of went from smoker to Yeti, and then like 5 minutes after it was in the Yeti, they were pulling it back out to make their box because I don't know if they were challenged on time or not. But he basically, I don't, you know, Dan, if I'm screwing this up, I'm sorry, but I don't think he had a full rest on the ribs, and obviously it worked out perfect. Got 180. You know, what's better than that? So yeah, I guess once in a while, a Hail Mary can't hurt.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Right.
Yeah.
A little twist in there.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. So that's cool. So you haven't done other competitions than just the one you started with this year?
Yeah. So to go back to one of the questions that Chip asked, I thought he was asking how many have I done personally, and I answered one thinking that it was this year, but I've been competing for the last probably like 2 years, and I usually do anywhere between 3 to 4 competitions a year ever since I started getting into the competition circuit.
Cool. So you got about
I'm sorry. With Miller's is you've done Miller's before?
Yes, Miller was my first one that I ever did.
Excellent.
So you got about 10 under your belt so far then?
Yes.
All right, nice.
It's a good number.
Now, how do you find them, like state to state? Are they all relatively the same? I know you're going to have different, you know, criteria based on the sponsors and the governing boards, like of the voting and judging. But like, what about just the competitions, the attitude of the competitions? Is there one state that you prefer to be in over another?
There's not a specific state that I would want to be in. I do want to travel more out of state just to see how it is with the competitions out of state. Yeah. But definitely, I'm on NEBS, so I keep up to date on their upcoming competitions.
Northeast area.
Yeah, around the Northeast area. So
Chip, what's NEBS?
Northeast Barbecue Society.
Right. We get to actually. That was a softball, everybody. We have some friends up there. They're great. They do a great job on promoting competition in New England, and for, you know, Rich knows, and for other people who don't know, I think we got over like 6 teams from New England going to the Jack this year.
Yeah.
So boy, for those people who say we don't have barbecue up here in the Northeast, you know what? We got to La Vez.
Wrong.
Great. So, do you find the judging to be different? Like, have you ever been able to? No, I guess not. With the double blind, it'd be hard to, you know, if somebody have an attitude about a Rhode Island competitor. You know, if that ever took place or not.
Yeah, they don't even know.
Yeah,
They don't know who they're tasting.
Correct.
So they eliminate all that. And now they're doing everything with that.
QR code.
QR code.
Yeah.
It's really gotten high tech.
Yeah, wait till the AI gets involved.
I'm anti-AI.
So get us back to your routine, right? So you got to go to the event. What are you going in? Do you have a truck, trailer, pickup? Like what's your gig?
What's your setup?
Yeah, what's your setup?
So what I would usually bring to barbecue competitions is my trailer smoker, the Bubba Smoker 250R rib box.
Okay.
And I'll also bring my Oklahoma Joe Bronco. Kind of like to do my ribs. I like to do my ribs on the vertical smoker, and then everything else will be on the reverse flow.
Yes, I was going to ask you: is you direct or reverse flow on your what do you call that? Not bullet smoke. What do you call those? Tank smokers?
Yeah, the 200. I call it like just by that number. It's like the 250 gallon smoker.
Yeah, reverse flow. Or
Yep,
direct.
reverse flow.
Yep. Yeah, I'm itching. I don't know if I can pull that trigger yet, Charlie. But every year I say I'm going to upgrade my smoking.
I can see
game,
it,
but I don't know. I like where I am with my pellets. I'm a lazy cook.
I know what you're afraid. You're afraid if you get a major unit like that, you're going to have to compete.
You have to do something, right? Because they're going to be
Justify
barking
that.
at me.
Yep.
Yep.
Justify all that steel.
And so with the paraphernalia that you bring, is that a chore for you? Because I hear from every, like I'm going to say, pro competitor, they always suggest throw away half the stuff you own. You don't need half of it. You probably should have never bought it, and you're definitely not going to use it.
It's 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I'd say.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm the kind of guy I like every gadget there is.
You sure do.
Yeah, I do. But at the same time, I'm lazy, so I don't like lugging all that stuff around. So if I don't need it, if I'm not going to use it, I'm not going to use it. Is there any stress that goes on? Like, do you sleep much the night before?
I'm actually I get excited the night before, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I can't wait to get up and just go there.
Yeah. I should have said it differently. The night before, because the night before you're cooking, right, for the competition, but the night before. So if you're cooking for Sunday turn-ins, you're cooking Saturday night. So it'd be Friday night, the killer for me. That's where I don't, especially at my age now, like if I would be so excited I wouldn't sleep Friday.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to drag everything down there and I'd be like exhausted.
Yeah.
But now you got to stay up Saturday night and cook.
Yeah.
Right. So Sunday comes around, I'm just going to be like biting people's heads off. Right. I'm not going to be very social at all. So there is some stress. How do you deal with that stress? See, I don't have to ask questions like that to my buddy Charlie because I know the answers. So
I try not to put too much stress on like what I'm doing. I always try to tell myself to always have fun because once you take the fun out of it, then it's just a headache.
So true.
You got to have fun with what you're doing.
Yep.
So even my wife always tell me don't take it too serious, but she's the one that takes it serious.
Well, that's her role. Let her run with it.
That's it.
So, Rich, you were nice enough to bring us some amazing oxtail and ribs and sausage and your homemade pickles, which were off the chain.
Don't forget the coleslaw.
The coleslaw. I mean, those ribs, and I'm not bullshitting. Those ribs were as good as anything we tasted down in Carolina, north or south. They were fantastic. What's your go-to? Like, what do you do best? Do you have something you do best? Is it your brisket, your ribs? What's the best thing you do in your opinion?
I think the best I do, in my opinion, is probably ribs and then brisket.
Outstanding. What do you do with your ribs? What's your you don't have to give away your secrets and your rubs and all that stuff, but what do you think makes them so good? Like right out of judging class, your rib was perfect. You bit into it, the meat didn't fall off the bone. It gave you a nice semicircle bite. It was not overwhelmingly juicy, but it was just right, so it was nice and tender. Yeah! Is so right. And I would have sat there and ate the whole pan, but we had to do this freaking podcast. But anyway, you got anything you'd like to share about your ribs and what makes them so special?
So what I definitely always choosing ribs over 3 pounds for sure.
And why is that?
Only because definitely more meat. There's a little bit of fat on them where you could always trim off. I'm rarely like, when it comes to trimming, I'm always so, I could say anal about it. I have to have it a certain way, my way, because when we're doing our runs, I'm telling my mom, hey, make sure you do it this way. Don't do it any other way.
Yeah.
So, but most importantly, I think the most importantly is keeping the right temperature consistently across the board, knowing when to pull it, wrap it, and knowing when it's done.
And you figured that out over the years.
So
this right now your ribs are the process you've used over the years. This is the end product. What you've come up with right now.
I would say it's very close to the end. There might be some things that I like to play around with and change just to see how it compares to what it is before.
Yeah, outstanding.
Can you tell, like, when you're cutting those ribs for the box, and you have that first taste, and I don't know, do you taste it or does your mom, your wife taste it? Because somebody usually has somebody who has more of a tempered palate kind of a thing. Who's your taster?
I would say my teammates.
Yeah.
I would cut the ribs, and then I would be like, all right, I have one of my teammates try it, and then I'll have another teammate try it.
Because they got to know your composition, and
Right.
they got to be honest with you, right?
Yeah, they got to be honest.
You miss something, you know what I mean? Recover.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's important. And then you put like what, six ribs in a box when you turn in?
6 ribs in a box, and for every competition, I'm usually cooking anywhere between 3 to 4 racks.
Yeah.
You know, just to make sure.
You never know.
And then you're just trying to pick out the best ones
Pick
that
out
you kind of put out there. Right?
the best ones, straight bones. You know, the best looking ones.
Yep.
So that's why we do the 4 racks always, and we're choosing from the middle.
And presentation and how the food looks. I mean, that goes a long way. I know with some of the judges. Something like when you run wrap the ribs tonight, I looked at it and I was just like, these are gonna be amazing. I just knew just by the look, just looking at them. I was
Folks,
like,
we'll have pictures of the food that Rich brought.
oh my God.
Look right up here.
But you're a judge. You open a box up and it looks like crap. You're gonna be sitting there, this is not what I expected.
Right.
But you open that box up and you're like, wow, these look just like they're supposed to.
And like you said, Charlie, it's crazy because 180 is a perfect score, and the top 5 might be anywhere from 179.6 to.
Yeah, it's such a
what I mean,
small difference in scoring.
It's minuscule.
Yep.
So and rightfully so, because. All right.
And I still am, frankly,
sometimes you can taste
shaky
some
about
bad
how they
food,
come
but-
up with the scoring.
No, but besides that, I mean, very seldom do you get bad food. The food is top notch. So it's like,
yeah.
And I'm a big comparison eater. Can you tell? And there's no way for me to say, oh, that's 179.8. I can't say it's a 9.3. I got to be able to not as good as this one. Not as good. I got to kind of have a scale.
Yep.
But I guess that's why you have,
Yeah, you can't
experience.
give a guy a 10 in the very first rib.
Right.
I mean, theoretically, you give a guy a 10. All right, so where are you going now with the rest of everybody else?
Oops.
Yeah, oops. Oops, this guy's even better. Can I give him more than a 10? No, you can't. It's not easy being a judge.
No, it isn't. It isn't for sure. All right. I'll give it to him right now. Chip.
Yes.
Fredo is running in here with one of his letters, one of his emails. He's got his competition here. He wants to make sure we get this done. I swear to God, we got to find another job for that guy because that's all he does is this, and he haunts the hell out of
I
me.
told you it was a mistake, and you're going to admit it
But
sooner or later.
I don't know.
I know you got
enjoy
to
this.
throw him a bone.
Yeah.
All right.
Give
him something to do.
All right, here
Learn
we go.
the casino
So,
business.
Made guy or whacked? You folks at home, if you never heard of it before. Oh, first of all, I got to do this. Right now, stop. YouTube people, click like, subscribe. Okay? I got yelled at by my sponsors that I don't say that. It's important. It's important to us. The more people that like us and subscribe to our channel, the higher we rank with YouTube, and the more more views my sponsors get. So please do that. Take a minute right now if you're already here. Maybe I missed you, but I'm going to probably throw it in at the beginning too. I hope I'm that smart. Anyways, now that I said that, made guy or whacked, we look for your stories. We ask you guys to email us every week. We didn't get as many as we had last show. People must be busy. I don't know. The Olympics are over. It can't be the Olympics. So type in, tell us your stories. We want to know, was it a fantastic success and you should be a made guy, or was it a complete disaster and someone needs to whack the shit out of you? But anyways, we have a letter, right, Chip?
We got a letter.
I know we do because Fredo almost had a puppy bringing it in here. But could you indulge him, please?
Sure. We didn't get a lot of a lot of quantity this time around, but we got some quality here. You guys judge whether it's good or bad. But I have some thoughts on this email. This email is titled, Don't Touch a Man's Smoker. And it reads, Hi, Wise Guys Barbecue crew. I wanted to share a recent backyard adventure with you all. And let's just say I'm not quite sure if I'm a made guy or I've been completely whacked. I'm sure. My name is Samantha, and my husband Andy is the king of our backyard smoker. He loves it, and honestly, he's really good at it. He spends hours perfecting his technique, smoking up the best baby back ribs, great briskets, tasty pulled pork, the best you can imagine. But lately, Andy's been working long hours at the local Amazon distribution center. Good for you, Andy. I thought it would be a great idea.
You know, it makes sense because my son just went to college. So a lot of these colleges, back to schools, a lot of people are whacking the Amazons like mad. But
it's very busy. I know they ship more stuff to the hotel.
I went into a Target. I almost thought I was going to have to kill someone. Sorry, I'm getting off track. I'm sorry.
For that last last computer stand or
just
bookshelf.
Just a mop. You couldn't. I could have sold like parking tokens in the parking lot and made money.
Guys,
but
you're looking for household goods. Go to
now.
Dollar Tree. All right, they have great household goods there for $1.25. Anyway. So anyway, Samantha says that Andy's been working long hours at the local Amazon distribution center, and she thought it would be a great idea to surprise him with a delicious home-cooked meal after one of his grueling shifts.
Have you ever noticed men don't like to be surprised?
Not at all.
Thank you.
There's only one thing they like to be surprised with.
Samantha, based on what you said about your husband, he's the king of the backyard, and guys get very particular about their equipment and how they cook things. Yeah, it's very a touchy subject. So when I heard you were going to surprise him, I got a little apprehensive, and Lord knows I was right. So Samantha writes, I decided to take matters into my own hands and fire up our Weber Smoky Mountain cooker. I figured, how hard can it be? How hard can it be? You're right. I chose to smoke some baby back ribs, one of Andy's favorites. I'd seen him do it so many times, I thought I had it all down. Okay. Well, here's where things go sideways. Things didn't go exactly as planned. I got the ribs prepped with Andy's secret rub. I can't do a straight face with this lady because I know how this is going to go. Fired up the smoker and put the ribs on the grate. I was feeling pretty proud of myself. Imagining Andy's face when he walked through the door to the smell of smoked ribs. I wonder what Andy's face really looked like. And then disaster struck. I can't imagine how. Apparently, I didn't clean out the smoker well enough before starting. I must have missed some old drippings because soon enough, I had a full-blown grease fire on my hands. What? Smoke was billowing out, and I'm sure it was the bad smoke, not the good smoke.
Dirty smoke.
Dirty
smoke.
Way more than it was supposed to. I panicked, tried to douse the fire with water, which now I know is not the right thing to do. This only made things worse. Flames shot up, and I was pretty sure the entire neighborhood was about to call the fire department. Andy came home with his ladder company 3 out in front of his house. Okay, first of all, I don't know what you did, Samantha. I don't know how you pulled this off. I don't know how you started a fire. But your man sounds like he knows what he's doing. I don't think he left his grill dirty. That's personally. This guy is the king of the backyard. He sounds like he does a great job. I don't know where you're going with this, but I don't think he left that grill dirty. Andy, I'm sticking up for you. I don't think you left that grill dirty. I think Samantha was up to something else.
So what's the, okay, Caesar.
Hang on.
Oh, it's more?
Hang on.
This girl's got a lot to do.
By the time I got things under control, the ribs were charred to a crisp, and the smoker, well, safe to say it's seen its better days, I imagine. When Andy finally got home, he found me sitting on the patio with what looked like a crime scene behind me. I was mortified. But you know what? Casey, he just laughed and asked for his favorite song. No, I'm just He laughed, hugged me, and told me it was the thought that counted. He even managed to save the smoker after a lot of scrubbing and cleaning. We ended up ordering pizza that night, but Andy promised we'd give the ribs another shot. This time with him guiding me every step of the way. Okay, listen. I know Andy came home, blew a stack, cleaned the grill with your face, okay, and swore you would never touch his equipment ever again. And you're probably now in the basement chained to a pole as punishment. I don't know. But Sam, not only did you get whacked, you got the Mo Green special. Yeah. If you don't know what the Mo Green special is, watch Godfather, the first one. You'll figure it out. You definitely got whacked. You got the Mo Green special, and
I'm sorry, Samantha.
try not to kick out the windshield when he gives you the garrote from behind like Carlo in Godfather 2.
I'm sorry, Samantha, but there is a silver lining because
Is there?
you do. Yeah, you do. You won. Fredo picked your email, and you win some wonderful gifts from our sponsors. We both, All Temps and Spidal, have some gifts back here for you. So, Fredo, share some pictures of those, and you can pick something out and get that. So, we're sorry about.
Sorry, I was so hard on you, Sam.
Yeah, you're the.
I had a very.
You're a dick.
I am a dick. I was a very frustrating week, and I just thought of poor Andy coming home with his house on fire, and I fell for the guy. Okay. So I'm sorry about that, Sam. It's a great story, and it was perfect. And congratulations on winning the prize.
Yeah. All right. So I'm glad we get that done. That was fun. That was funny this week. Fredo's getting good at this. And thank you for your letters, folks. Keep them coming. The better they are. They don't have to be one way or another. We just enjoy reading them, picking one, and moving on from there. And Rich, you got to tell me, you can't just you can't just leave me with that one morsel of delicious food that you brought today. And thank you very much again. But how do I get more? Like, what do I do? Do I have to come sleep in your front lawn? Like, how do I? You
got to come camp out in the front. You'll smell the smoke coming from the back.
What can I do? How do you, do you have? Do you ever do some cooks in the backyard or something? How can I get? I need more. How can I get more?
Yeah, that's depends on the free weekends that I have per month. I usually do like just a little run for my families and friends, and then I'll let them know, like, hey, I'm cooking. Hey, if you want to come by and grab some, just let me know. I'll put you down for something.
Well, I'd love if you could pay me on next time.
I will definitely give you guys a ring and let you guys know. Also,
that's delicious.
We will be by.
Yeah, because so you do it every couple of weeks. I know you've been busy lately.
Yes.
What have you been doing?
I've been building a smoker dedicated to my son. So it's a 55-gallon drum smoker.
Nice.
They call it a ugly drum smoker, but I'm gonna try to make it pretty.
Did you? So you dedicated it to him? Did you name it after him or something?
I named it Chubbs. It's Chubbs Super 55.
Nice.
Like it.
Awesome. And it's a drum smoker.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Do you have a drum now? No.
I only have a vertical, which is the Oklahoma Joe.
Yep.
Then
and the reverse flow.
And the reverse flow. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
Now I'm building the drum smoker for him. So
how old's your son now?
He's 15 months.
So he's got a little time to get everything under control and get used to the smoking.
Don't blink. The crying wise guy is going to tell you don't blink because they're 10 and then they're off to college. All right. Anyway, I'm back.
How's it doing at Pace this weekend? Good?
Yeah, I had a great time. Thanks.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. So what's next for the BBQ Ninja? Like what's our next event? I think I know, but I can't find my papers.
Next events will be at Miller's, September 14 in Cranston.
Yeah, that's a fun. That's not only a great competition; it's just a lot of fun, right? They have food trucks there.
The atmosphere is just it's different for sure. I did a couple other different competitions, and Miller's is definitely one that stands out for me. Not because it was my first a couple years ago, but it's just the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So what do they do that's different? Why is Miller's different than some of the other things you do?
So Miller's, they do like they do a buffet. They do a raffle. They play music. So it's very
conducive to the public coming.
There's usually two themes at these events, right? They're promoted by a promoter who's looking to make a great event, of course. Hopefully move along the competitors, but also they make some money in the process, right? It's a little self-serving. But then there are other ones like this one that it's all for donation. It's just all for a great cause. And those are the fun ones because the people who come just have fun. They just have fun. They have fun doing everything they're doing. If they're donating money, if they're collecting money, if they're competing, if they're, raffling off ribs, whatever they're doing, they're having a blast, and they know they're having a blast for a great cause. So it makes it even more fun. And then
Definitely.
I've never been to one, and we said we're going to go because I got one person who wants to dance with me, and I got another person who wants to punch me in the nose. And it happened to be the same person. It happens to be my ex-wife, and we're throwing down. But anyways, Kristen, we're going to dance at Miller's Crossing. But anyway,
he likes to walk that high wire.
No, because she said it. That's the only reason why I don't say these things if they're not factual.
All right, Houdini, whatever you want to do.
Anyways, that's what I know about Miller's, and I'm dying to experience it because it is all about. I'm going to say it's all about Jake because that's how it started, and it's still coined. God.
Is that the name of the charity? All About Jake? Or
no,
Friends of Jake.
Friends of Jake. Thank you.
Yep.
I forgot the first part of it. I knew it was Jake, but so they raise some serious dough and they do some great things with it. And God bless the people that put this on. And like I said, it's just fun. So you're going to have a great time. I know,
definitely.
but you're going to be, when you're competing, you're having fun anyways. But I'm going to have fun too.
We always do. Rich, maybe, and this is just off the top of my head, maybe we could check out your process while you're getting ready for that. If you're down, maybe we could come by your place and see how you. Are you gonna set up your smoke at home and then bring it down there, or are you gonna actually smoke right on spot?
You're going to do it there.
Yeah, you have to smoke. You have to cook on the spot. So usually, the setup is Friday afternoon.
I
never studied. Right?
Yeah, so,
I'm thinking Mills. I'm thinking it's a state fair or something like that. You make fried Twinkies.
Bring your cherry pie.
Jesus.
So,
Is it chopped or pulled pork? God, I can't get that one right either.
Oh goodness!
You can cut that part out.
No.
Suck.
That's great. What else? What else you got lined up for the rest of the year, Rich? I need to flying by. It's August. August is going.
It's so
September.
fast.
What else you got lined up?
So after Miller's, it'll be Woods Tavern in October,
Okay.
and that's in Coventry.
Okay. And is that another fundraiser cause, or is that
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. You seem to do a lot of those. They've got to be a lot of fun. That's why.
Oh, yeah, they're a lot of fun.
And you must have these like on a site or somewhere. What are your sites?
So I would cook on site, but
No, I mean your social media sites. Like where can people tune in to find out where you're going to be?
Yeah, they can find me on Facebook, the BBQ Ninja, or on TikTok, the BBQ Ninja.
All right, I'm going to put them up on screen too later. So good, yeah. Bang Rich up, and if you lose your way, you can always find a link on ribbqnews.com. Hey, I got something for you. I got a gift for you.
Oh man,
Sharp stick in the eye.
I've been no. This is something. I'm going to put it up there with a personal triumph for me, and it's been about 6 weeks now. I've been negotiating for this, but we are now the proud owner of BBQnews.com.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yes, 7 letters. That's all. And now I got to figure out how to market it. But we are the proud owners of BBQ News.
I don't want to know how you pulled it off.
Okay, don't.
I'm sure Fredo had something to do with it. Yeah.
But
A couple of the boys.
I
right
think
down
I
there.
smell a rat.
yeah, no, it's seriously, it's like anything else, right? It's money, but we've been able to negotiate. And you know what else it's been? And thank you very much. The content. We only started in April, folks, and we're moving along. And thanks to the competition group that are holding us by the hand and leading us along the way, and a few other special people, we're making some waves on social media, and we're delivering some good content. And that helped with the negotiations to get this done. It was something I wanted to do. I mean, forget about the people who say Rhode Island doesn't have any good barbecue or not. I mean, it might be something down the road that we do something with this website a little bit differently. But yeah, so if you go right now and you type in barbecuenews.com, you're going to get Rhode Island Barbecue News until we figure it out. But yeah, we're the proud owners. So
That's
there you go.
amazing. Well
Yeah.
done, sir.
So if anybody loses their way and they want to find out Rich's information, you can definitely go on that website, and we'll have an article up there soon, and and he will give you that information.
I was supposed to have that article up like 2 weeks ago, and I got busy. And
It's called Kicking the Can. But yeah, great. All right, final thoughts. Let's go. Let's wrap it up. What do we got left? I know we got next week, but I don't know if there's anything else. Rich, got anything else on your agenda there?
Just prepping for Miller's. Trying to finish up my son's smoker and try to get it to preview at Miller's.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But if I can't get it done before then it'll probably be at Woods in Coventry in October.
maybe we could have maybe after Miller's we could have Rich back on to talk about how he did and
Sure.
and the whole experience.
Rich can come here whenever he wants. And if he brings food
You're a
like
made,
that,
you're a made man, Rich. As long as you bring them ribs,
he continues to bring those ribs. He's not going to be able to leave when he comes.
made man.
But no, anytime, Rich, you're invited anytime. And yeah, I mean, so now what do you like? Do you break a bottle of champagne over the smoker? Like, what do you do? How do you christen a smoker? Snap a brisket over your knee or something. I don't know. We have to
slam a brisket down on it.
Yeah, there we go.
Sounds good. Sounds
There we go.
appropriate.
Yeah, that might work well. So good. Well, thank you very much, Rich, and thank you all, folks, for tuning in. Next week, we're going back. Tommy the Butcher is back. Tommy's going to show us his meat, and you don't want to miss that. He's got a great show sketched out. He's still, pulling the details out, if you will. But you don't want to miss it. We're going to be going over through. It's basically thinking outside of the box on brisket and other expensive meats these days, and coming up with some other great meat alternatives for smoking. So you don't want to miss that next week. That's all I got.
When's our next safari? When's our
Really,
safari?
you're gonna disappoint me now.
When's our next safari, buddy?
I don't know.
All right, well, I'm telling you.
I'm perplexed.
Now. I know. We got to figure it out. We got to figure it out, folks. We'll get back to you.
So, I was looking at second week of December.
Yep.
I think it's too soon.
Yep.
I don't want to rush it. I know we're going to Texas in April. So I thought maybe that should be the one. Maybe we should go right from the shallow end of the pool into the deep end of the pool and get out there in April. But what I did find out is the Championship Barbecue Alliance is having their national championship in the second week of January. So I'm not sure if it'll be like a full-fledged safari, but I think we should go to that.
For that weekend.
Go out there, sure. Bring the podcast with us. Go out and meet some people, right? I think that'd be cool.
Where is it?
It's in Texas. Where exactly in Texas? I
Deep
don't
in
know.
the heart of Texas.
Yeah, Matt. So Matt, Matt Pereira,
Yep.
the gentleman who works with that organization and ran the Rhode Island State Championship. He was telling me about it, and he said it's going to be a blast. And he was, I told him, because he gave me a couple places to go in Texas, and he's like, "When are you going to Texas?" I'm like, "I know we're going in April, because you know why, right? You should come too. It's a Lao New Year."
Oh.
So it's in April is the Lao New Year. I think it's second or third week of April.
Yeah.
There's a huge Lao community in Texas, I think Fort Worth. And my wife was from Texas, so she's going out with her family. So the idea was we're going to have a little reunion out there for a week. And then I was going to piggyback that on the safari for another week. So that's what we were doing. So that was our plan. And now we might be going in January. How many times can you go to Texas? I guess you can go a lot.
Texas, we could probably go 5 times a year for the next 2 years and not scratch the surface of all the barbecue in Texas.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I mean, I got to get more plans. I got to get some ideas. But again, help me out, guys. At home, Samantha, help me out. Go grab go grab Andy by the fire extinguisher and bring him over and say, Vinny from Wise Guys Barbecue wants to know where we should go to have barbecue in Texas or anywhere else that we should have the safari, and we'll get that going. And I think we're going to try to. I know we're not going to be able to make like a tourist event out of this. But I think what we should do is I think we should like raffle off to a couple of dear listeners to our podcast a couple seats. So maybe we have a little contest. Maybe if you win the contest, you join us on the safari. That might be cool.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah. So good.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
No, there'll be a lot of disclaimers with that.
They left me in the bar, and I didn't know how to get home.
Yeah, that sounds like us. So, thank you. Thank you, folks, for being here as always, and much appreciated. And we'll catch you next week. Stay barbecuing.
Peace.
Peace out.
You've been listening to Wise Guys Barbecue. Obviously, our passion is barbecue. We love everything about it. We always have the inside scoop on the best cooks, the hottest joints, and the juiciest stories in the world of barbecue. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, hit the website at wiseguybbq.com. Find us on Instagram at wiseguys.bbq and on Facebook at Wise Guys Barbecue. Make sure to check out the website associated with the podcast. It's www.ribbqnews.com. See you next time on Wise Guys Barbecue.